So, for once, what I thought I'd do is just do something a little bit informal, just explaining, my thoughts on composting and why you should compost, because I think it's a great part of any gardening ecosystem to be able to discard your own waste in your own environment at home is all that we can ask for. I did a little meme the other day that said if 1% of the world's population composted their scraps instead of throwing it in the garbage bin, we'd save 450 million tons of carbon dioxide. Now, one of the main benefits to composting is that we actually reduce the amounts of carbon dioxide and methane that are released into the atmosphere. And for me, that's a really good thing. We've actually got a presentation coming up with Buffalo City quite soon, and it all revolves around air pollution. So we neglect the fact that our air is also getting polluted by waste ending up in landfill. And we're proud to say that we divert, last month was 1,117 tons of organic waste, which otherwise would have ended up in landfill. And we're proud to say that we were able to compost that, and it was going back into people's yards as a usable soil amendment, which will only enhance and encourage growth in their plants. Now, getting back to composting at home, it's just such an easy way of reducing the amount of waste that you get from your house. I actually have in my house, in my kitchen, I've got a bucket, and everything that gets utilized goes into that bucket, because if you don't have something to collect in, I find that a lot of the time you neglect having to take it out to your compost, because you don't want to be taking out one peel at a time, two peels at a time to your compost. It just doesn't make any sense. So what I've done is I've got a little compost bucket which stays on my kitchen counter. Every single time that I peel something, cut something, there's something old that needs to come from the fridge, it gets put into the bucket, and from there it goes out to the compost heap. And I think a lot of people don't actually know the vast amount of products that can be composted. I did an article on our website, which is www.pro-gro.co.za, and on that website I just highlighted the different products that you are able to use to compost. Now, some of the more interesting things that you guys may not know about: latex balloons, women's hygiene pads, you've got cotton clothing, denim. So there is a lot of stuff that can be composted. Basically anything that was once living can be composted. So because cotton is a plant, it can be composted. It does take a long time to break down, but not everyone focuses on the Berkeley method of composting, which does break things down a lot more rapidly. Some people at home, you will leave it in a static pile and you might turn it once, twice in a month, sometimes even less. You might leave it for 6 months and then only turn it. But irrespective of what method of composting you use, there are many different things that you can compost. So it might be an interesting read and a worthwhile read to go and have a look just exactly what can be composted. Now, I know for us on the farm, we've always tried to incorporate a lot more rich nutrient products that will only enhance the quality of our compost. And it's something that we've been doing since inception, and my main reason for doing it is because I knew that the value that manure had in compost. When we initially started, it was only horse manure because I had access to a lot of horse manure, but since then we've been able to transition to some chicken manure, cattle paunch, we've got horse manure, and they're definitely enhancing and helping the quality of our products. In fact, our nutrient tests have been pretty off the charts since incorporating a lot more manure into our finished products. So, that's pretty much what I can sum up with regard to compost. I do think that, if you are wanting to reduce the amount of waste that you've got at home, or you are looking for something to add into your soil, I've been on this run lately about soil health, because without good quality soil, your plants will certainly suffer, and I don't think that people actually realize the full importance of what a good quality soil actually will do. And this is why lately I've just been on a major kick trying to drive people to change, to incorporate more organic nutrients into their soil, because the plants that we grow, they use up nutrients, they use up water, and if we don't put them back, that's when our plants begin to suffer. Now, I don't say over feed them, we don't want to add too many nutrients, but what I am saying is that if you don't, your plants will certainly suffer. Just like humans, we consume food, we drink water, your plants also need it, and every single day as they grow, so they take out nutrients. I'm sure you guys have seen some of those pots that you get, some potted plants, and they look great for a couple months, and then eventually they begin to die down, and you wonder what the problem is. And a lot of the time it's either overwatering, which yes, it can be, but a lot of the time it's that plant has utilized all of the nutrients in that pot and there's nothing else for them to use. So that is why it's certainly a good idea to always add nutrients. And yeah, guys, this is something very different for me. It's more of a vlog style, just some thoughts on composting at home and why it is important. We'll do some videos, some better videos, just to show you guys how you can compost at home, some correct methods. Getting back to that subject, when you research compost on the internet, there's this whole stigma attached around the carbon nitrogen ratio, and I've always told people to really just ignore that, because if you really begin to follow it to the book and you have to do a 25:1 or a 30:1 ratio, the amount of products and input that you're adding, your greens and your browns, will actually overwhelm you so much that you become too scientific. So if you've got a compost pile at home and it is heating up and it's steaming or smoking when you open it up, then you know that it's working fine. If you've got one at home and it's not doing anything, there's no steam that comes off of it, there's no smoke that comes off of it when you open it up, then I've always said to customers and clients that you've only got two reasons normally for this. It's too dry or it's too wet. Simple as that. Too dry, too wet. So if it is too dry, add some water. If it's too wet, add some things like fresh leaves, grass, dry leaves, just add more dry product into your compost, because I think if you don't let your pile heat up to the correct temperatures, that is when you find problems with the pathogens, you find problems with weeds. You get a lot of weeds cropping up in your garden after you spread the compost. Now, like I said, there's only two ways to look at it. It's either too dry or it's too wet, and it shouldn't be too difficult to ascertain which one of those it is by simply opening up the compost heap. So that is really my advice that I've always given to people, and it's generally helped, because Googling can only give you so much knowledge, but actual practical knowledge of composting, it's trial and error, the same as planting vegetables, planting flowers, all trial and error. It's all to do with your environment, where it's housed, how it's turned, how it's watered. There's so many different factors that actually add to what we use in our compost and how it affects our compost, that it all comes down to trial and error, and how much time you're busy, or how much time you've got to do it, how much time you've got to play around, and how willing you are to actually get the desired results with your compost. So that pretty much sums up what I can talk about today. This was something quite different. Like I said, more of a vlog style video, but hopefully you guys will follow the channel, you'll like and subscribe, and you can keep following what we're doing here at Pro-Gro Compost. You can follow our gardening journey, you'll follow our advice, you'll listen to us. Hopefully we'll be able to listen to you by commenting in the comments section, and we can start to to get this movement towards better quality soil, healthier soil, utilizing compost, utilizing mulch for all the benefits, and reducing the air pollution that comes with it. From me here at Pro-Gro, thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you all in the next video.